Welcome to Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea. I'm your host, Rae Lashea, and we are going to have a fantastic guest, Mr. Cameron McKissic of King Street Empire Clothing, LLC. So we'll just wait for him to get here, and we'll have a great show for you. In the meantime, you can enjoy a little bit of Moneybag Yo. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us today. Please visit me at www.lessproblemsmoremiracles.com. That's lessproblemsmoremiracles.com. You can put your email address in to receive your free Miracle Makers PDF roadmap, as well as check out the books that I have there. You Are a Star, which is a children's book, Black Geisha, which is an erotica novel, and the newest book, 52 Weeks of Miracles, which is a personal development, self-help, spiritual growth and journey journal. So feel free to check me out at www.lessproblemsmoremiracles.com. I am waiting on Mr. Cameron McKissic of the King Street Empire Clothing, LLC. I actually have on one of his outfits. He has a ton of different, very unique styles for both men and women. So you should check him out at the King Street Empire here on Instagram. So we'll give him another minute or two and see if he comes in. I hope everyone's Memorial Day weekend was great. Besides that, Father's Day is coming up, June 20th. And I hope people are staying cool. It is hot all across the country. Maybe I'll put on a little more music so we're not. Well, we are happy to say that King Street Empire has joined. And so let's invite him on in. Welcome, Karen. How are you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I'm working right now.
Great to see you. We'll keep it short. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep. How you doing? No problem.
I'm fine. Check me out. Do you see me?
Got the merch on. That's what's up. I got it on. I got it on too.
Yes, and I was just telling people you have clothing for men, women, all kinds of unique designs. But before we get into that, please let the people know who you are and what you do.
For sure. What's up, everybody? My name is Cameron. I have a clothing line called King Street Empire. My son's name is King. I started the business back when he was born, so 2015. So October 31st this year will be exactly 6 years since I've been doing it. And so yeah, my son's name is King. I just wanted to kind of just start a business for him that allows something. I wanted to start a business that he can be involved in as a kid, a type of business that he can run with me as a kid. And just give him something that I wasn't given as a young kid. And basically what that is, just like the little simple tools of how to be successful. You know, as far as just like the little things like building your credit up, what credit is, like just the importance of ownership. Let's see what else. The importance of ownership, the importance of just being able like to create something for yourself and not have to worry about anybody else's opinion or anything like that. As far as you know, just what you want to do in life. I just want to leave a legacy for him, so that way when I'm gone, you know, he has something to fall back forward to. And just like a little message of what Kingston Empire is, we go around all around the United States, and we're motivational speakers to the youth, and we go around and just teaching them, just giving them game and giving them knowledge, just on even just like I was saying, like even just like the smallest things that we wish that we would have known as kids, that would help us be successful at an older age, saving 10% of your check, every income that you get, you know what I mean? You know, little stuff like that. And so, yeah, we go around the United States and we just try to reach out to as many kids as possible to give them the game. We always leave them with something. So more than just talking to them, we actually leave them something physically that they can look at. So when we leave them, they still have something to kind of go off of after our conversation.
That sounds wonderful. So where did you learn the principles, the financial principles, the business principles, the entrepreneurial concepts? Where did you learn those yourself?
Really, so everything I know about my business, I taught myself. But like I always grew up, like I always had like an entrepreneur mindset. Like I was always good at selling something. I was just I never had like a business mindset. I didn't know really how to establish a business. I knew how to sell stuff. I was good at stuff like 5, 6 years old. I was selling candy, selling cell phones, like whatever I could get my hands on, I could sell it. You know what I mean? But I just never had like a business point of it. So once, like I said, once King was born, like literally, it's crazy. I don't know where it came from or how it happened, but like a switch just like clicked in my head to where I was in college when he was born, and so I was only going to college to play basketball. And so once King was born, I was like, man, I can't. College is not going to feed my son. Like I gotta leave right now. I can't be in college anymore. I ended up having knee surgery, so I was like, I gotta go. I gotta do something for him that's going to be able to, you know, leave him a legacy. So I was always good at like teaching myself anyway, more than just like sitting in the classroom. So what I did to pick up all my entrepreneur skills and the business side of it was really just Barnes and Noble, picking up books. I was in Barnes and Noble literally a lot, like at least like 8 hours out of the day, for like months straight. Back in 2015, I was in Barnes and Noble just reading books. And this is when I couldn't even afford. Like, I would rent books. Like, I couldn't even afford to like buy the whole book. I would just rent the book, or I would just stay up there at the Barnes and Noble and just read them and put them back, you know, and just take my
I've
notes.
done it. I have
Yeah.
certainly done that.
So I mean, that's really how I learned everything. Like I have a book. Like every book that I have was able to keep, you know, I'm still gonna keep them. I'm gonna just pass it down to my sons. 'Cause I literally write in them, you know, just leave little messages, leave little bookmarks for them. But yeah, really Barnes and Noble and the internet, you know, just doing my own research that I knew nobody was gonna do for me. You know, I just took it real serious because I looked at it as an opportunity for me to be able to feed my family and not have to work for anybody. Um, so that's like really where I pretty much learned like everything as far as like the business side of owning a clothing line, and not just a clothing line, but just like how to start a business, how to get an LLC in general, you know, and
Yeah.
how to work with the LLC and the things you can do and things you can't do with the LLC. All that stuff was just from me doing my own research on the internet, and like I said, Barnes and Noble.
It's so important because we are creatives. So there are people who do music, there are people who do fashion, there are people,
Yeah,
you know, who write books. But then there is the other side. You have to be a salesperson
yeah,
in order to sell those things. And then you also have to have that business mindset to keep everything in order, your financials. You know, you can have an accountant, but you have to know how to read your money too,
yeah,
you know, and you can have a marketer and a promoter, but you also need to know how to do those things too.
yeah.
What book would you recommend to anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur and is just starting out?
Um, That's so. I what is the it's so it's the everything guide on how to start an online business. Let me let me pull it up real quick, and I can probably find it. It's so easy to kind of find. Um, that book is it's funny though because that book, my younger sister, she wants to start a business, and I gave that book to her. I've recommended that book to so many people that kind of ask me like what did you use to like first get started. Um, Let me see if I can find, and I literally just I tell them go to that book.
Yeah, the everything guide. Okay, you'll get it for us. And so, and who comes up with your designs? How do you decide what designs are coming out next?
Um, so really that is strictly up to how I live my everyday life, like what I see, um, what I see just as far as like it could be something small as like me and my kids are at the park and you know I see something at the park and it's just like man I can make that into a design, you know. Um, so just literally just like live just really just living my everyday life and just kind of just going off of that. My son King, he's 5. I have a younger son Deuce. So Deuce he can't really help me yet, but as far as like as far as like words and him telling me what he likes. But my 5-year-old King, he like for instance, he came up with my logo. He came up with my logo when he was 2 years old. I asked him, I was like, King, what do you want the logo to look like? And he said I wanted to have roses and thorns in it. And so I just went off of that, you know. Um, so yeah, it's really that's like the easiest part and the funnest part really of our clothing line is coming up with the designs because like I said I want to start a business that I can do that my kids can actually do, you know what I mean, that my son can actually do. So coming up with designs, you know, 5-year-olds are so creative, you know, so they can literally come up with anything, and if you have a creative mindset you can flip it and turn it into and bring it to life, you know.
Yeah, and your son is super smart too, so it's like
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah,
talking
yeah.
to an adult
Yeah, yeah, for real
with him,
though.
and that probably comes a lot from you speaking to him and including him in your business.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. Yeah, like
Um,
the way I talk to King is the way I would talk to a business partner, you know, just like an adult, you know. I don't sugarcoat nothing when it comes to the way I talk to King, you know. I give him the game. But I found the book though. Let me see if I can flip my camera around. So this book right here changed my life, literally.
the Everything Guide to Starting an Online Business. People check it out. He's not getting anything for promoting it, but it has helped him
Yep.
out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Speaking
yeah,
of
that
promoting, where can people find you and your clothing line? How can they order? How can they check
um
you out?
so if you guys want to support the movement, you can go to kingstreetempire.com. We drop stuff all the time. Pretty much every like special holiday that comes up, every special occasion, that's when we drop things. That's how I choose my dates to drop things. So like for instance, Father's Day is coming up. I'm about to come out with something new for Father's Day, not specifically geared to fathers, but Father's Day is a special event. So you know we're gonna drop something that day. Um, so yeah, kingstreetempire.com. You can check me out on Instagram, kingstreet_empire. And then and yeah, those two ways are like the biggest promotion that we do. We use social media, and then I promote my website a lot. Like I wear my website on my clothes, um, stuff that I clothes that I actually drop that people can buy. My website is on the clothes, so I try to use my website as my number one. My website and King, I use those two as like my number one promotion, the ways I promote, you know.
Yeah.
Um, social media is definitely helpful. Social media is real helpful. One thing I will say though is if you can have a business and not even have to use social media, then you know you in a good place too. So don't feel like social media is just like, you know, even though it is like the number one popping thing right now that's going on for businesses. Like if you want to spread your business around, you know, definitely use social media. It definitely helps. But if you can find a way to not even have to use social media,
Right.
then you know you in the game right there. For sure.
Right. kingstreetempire.com. Check it out. Order. I got this fabulous little get up. It's a short and shirt. Uh Biddy. Woo,
Yeah.
here's a question really fast, and then I'll let you go. How do you find,
Oh,
or
look,
how?
speaking of King, he just ran up in here.
Oh,
Say what's up,
hey
King. We
King,
on live.
how are you?
She said, "How are you?" Let me take my head.
Hi.
Hi, baby. How are you?
I'm doing good.
What do you want to say about the clothing line?
Where can they buy the clothes at?
Kingstonvillecom, KC.
Yep.
Okay, and do you love working with your dad?
Yes, but look who's here.
Hold on. He wanted to get to show you the whole store and stuff. But yeah, we're in the store right now. This is a store that we partner with. I've been working with them for about 6 years. It's a custom printed clothing store, as you guys can see right there. It's a custom printed clothing store, and we've been doing business for 6 years. So yeah, I do Kingston Empire, and then I do the custom stuff on the side. Kingston Empire is like the main, that's the main thing right there.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
And how do these organizations with students and children find you, or you find them for you to come in and do the motivational speaking?
It's really just me reaching out to this different organizations I wanna that I know that I can do good in, as far as like hey, I see this group of kids, like they don't really have too many mentors around the area, so let me reach out to this group. I was just in Vegas a couple months ago, back in March, and we did some stuff at the YMCA. It was about like 50 teenagers there, and Vegas. I grew up in Vegas, so Vegas is for sure a number one spot that I'm gonna always go back to, and and give back to them, and just try to find as many teenagers as I can out there. Yeah, definitely me just reaching out to places that I kind of see that need those mentors.
Exactly. I would love to work with you and partner with you in some ways to get that children's book, You Are a Star, into
Yeah,
the hands of some of the youth. It's empowering and inspiring and educational, informative, and
yeah,
we need more of that especially in those underserved communities.
yeah, most definitely. That is cool. That book. So when we saw each other, and you gave me that book. When I got back home, me and King, we started reading it, and he was like, Dad, we need to write a book. So like little stuff like that, like he helps me. I wasn't really thinking about that. He
Yeah.
he said we need to write a business book. And so like little stuff like that, it's like he gives me new ideas every day. So that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, I can see you writing a book, The King Street Empire, and could be a whole
Yeah,
series of whatever you want that
yeah,
world to be.
whatever we imagine. So yeah, so like having kids definitely changed my life, because I wasn't thinking about none of the stuff I think about now. Before it was always just basketball, 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 basketball. But then
Right.
when I had kids, it was like it just flipped the switch. I turned into a whole businessman. So yeah, it definitely works out for sure. Owning something is definitely harder, but it's definitely worth it for sure.
Yeah, it's a way more rewarding. And I recently spoke at a career day, and what I wanted to impress upon those students were you can pivot. You don't have to stay in any particular career or job just because that's what you're in. If
Yeah,
like you said, you were doing basketball, you hurt your knee, you became a dad, you changed fields, and that's okay, because we're always reinventing ourselves and doing what's best for our lives.
yeah,
So if
exactly.
you could leave the people with any words of advice, encouragement, what would it be?
Um, I would say, hmm, so I get that question a lot, but like I have so many different, like just different answers that I can give. Um, so one thing that I would probably say is to don't let don't don't let nobody's, like, go off of your own timing. Everybody has their own timing. So if you're doing something in life and you realize that, man, it's taken me a long time. Like if you passionate about it, then like if you're passionate about it, then you're gonna like stick through it because it's gonna work out. If you quit, you'll never know how far you could go with it. If you quit. So yeah, just definitely, if you're passionate about something, never give up. Just keep going. Because like I said, you'll never know how far you can go with something if you quit.
That is the main theme that runs through every entrepreneur that comes on this show is consistency. If
Yeah,
you aren't consistent, then you will never make it to the final goal. Because you've given up. The goal can't serve you if you
yeah,
don't serve the goal. So wow. Well,
definitely.
Cameron, I want to thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, follow him at King_Street_Empire here on IG. Visit his
Appreciate
website at, go ahead.
I was saying, appreciate you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Visit him at KingstreetEmpire.com. Order some clothing. Wait, especially look out for the new line, the new items dropping for Father's Day. Visit me at www.lessproblemsmoremiracles.com. Put that email address in, get your free Miracle Makers PDF roadmap, as well as check out the books I have. And thank you so much for joining us. And until next week, when I will be here with another fabulous guest, have a miraculous day.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Bye.
Yeah.